This is Reclaim Your Life with your host, Esther Lamniam. Esther will provide powerful information that can be used to reclaim your physical, spiritual, and emotional life through the cycles and rhythm of nature. Please welcome the host of Reclaim Your Life, Esther Lamniam.
Hello, welcome to my channel. I am your host, Esther. Here is today's message. We are talking about reclaiming your life and ways to do it. Thank you for joining us. If you're a new listener to my show, you can get my products and books at my website, www.estheryiyi.com. You can also get my books on amazon.com. Now let's jump into this week's show. Thank you. So on this segment, we are going to be talking a little bit about some of the tools. This is just an introduction to some of the tools because there are so many tools out there we'll be using. These tools and strategies will help you begin to tap into what is happening into your life right away, because this is an implementation show. There are so many solutions on the internet. You can get solutions everywhere. But on this show, my hope is that by the time each show is over, you have tools to use right away, that very day, that very hour, in your life. If there's something we discuss on the show that you are experiencing, or you can share with your family, with your children, with your students, with your co-workers or people on the team, maybe at church, or you have a softball team or a soccer team. You can share some of these tools with them. So some of the tools we'll be looking into will be the laws and principles of nature that can aid in your success, and how to use and imitate nature for success. For example, rhythm and cycles, and how not understanding rhythm and cycles has broken so many relationships and marriages, and it has caused millions of lost revenues for some businesses. I've had relationships where people come to me to talk to me about the relationship, but when you sit and really understand what is happening, they don't understand their life cycle and their rhythm. Nature is about rhythm. Life is about rhythm. The heartbeat is a rhythm. Walking is a rhythm. Talking is a rhythm. Music is a rhythm. And cycles. If you don't understand the lady's cycle, your wife's cycle, she might not get pregnant. But it's not that she cannot get pregnant. It's that you are, being with her the wrong cycle. So cycle is so very important. Every relationship has a cycle. Every business has a cycle. It has a start, a middle, and an end. It has a start. You have winter, you have summer, you have spring. There are certain things you can only do in summer. If you try to do them in winter, you will not be successful. So those are some of the things we'll be talking about, the laws and principles of nature that will aid you. We'll also talk about the interconnectedness of your life and how understanding that will influence what you do. Sometimes, for example, sometimes you might have a headache, but it's probably because of something you ate, or you did not sleep properly, or you did not drink water. So it's not always about taking medication, which, you should if you need to. But when you understand the interconnectedness of some of the aspects of your life, for example, I had a lot of problems with headaches. I used to wake up early in the morning with serious migraines. And then it took me a while. It took a while, going to the hospitals and everything. And then one day, through just praying and getting really tired and frustrated, I realized it was gluten. So whatever I was eating was affecting my headaches. So that interconnectedness is very important. Sometimes it could be people or places or words you are using. That is, the vibration of that word is just totally different. It messes up your energy. So we will look into the interconnectedness of your life, because if you don't understand this, you might be breaking up relationships or not being successful when there's a simple reason to it. You can either enhance it if it's enhancing your relationship, or just stop it if it's not enhancing your relationship. Another tool I'll be using will be stories. I will tell you a folk tale and a fable. Yes, I do have an accent, if you're wondering, if you're hearing an accent. And when I talk to you about myself, I will tell you where that comes from. So I will tell you stories and fables. And within those stories, there will be a lot of strategies, because stories anchor points. When I was growing up, there were a lot of stories that were told, fables. And when I was in college and in the university, sometimes those stories help me solve problems or remember a concept. So we'll use some of the stories on the show, and there may not be a solution in the story. It would just be nice to hear a folk tale, like how the dog became a domestic animal, or why the turtle's back is all cracked up. So we'll use some of those tools. Another tool we'll be using will be movement, dance and movement, because we have vibrations. We all vibrate at our own natural frequency, and when you realize that, you can tune yourself up so that you can resonate with whatever you're trying to create, and you create it rather quickly. So you become conscious, of what you are doing, and this consciousness will make you create, effortlessly. Another thing you will talk about on the show are just simple stretches. People exercise a lot. They exercise their external environment. I always hear people saying, "Oh, look at those abs." They'll be swooning like, "Oh, that guy's abs are this or this." But really, what I like to do is exercise internally. Internally, your physiology is so very important. Once your physiology is not strong, you see how it's going to affect even your relationships. Your health is very important. It affects your relationships. It affects the business. If you don't show up at work, or you show up and you are not very happy, you cannot think, you cannot contribute to that meeting. There's so much that is, resting on you. So we'll talk about simple, meals, simple exercises and internal stretches that can help you. And some of these stretches, you will find them in nature. You can copy them from a cat. You see the way the cat stretches, you can just stretch like that, and you realize that it opens up the arteries, the blood flows. Anywhere blood goes, there's nutrition going to that area, and there's trash being taken out, and you just feel more alert without doing too much exercise. And exercise is good. You should do it. But we'll talk about that here. Okay, so when we come back, we'll continue to talk about the Reclaim Your Life show, some of the things will be, the tools we'll be using. But now, on this next segment, I'll tell you about me, Esther Lamniam, and how I got to this space where I became a wellness and life success strategist coach. I'll give you my background. I'll give you some of the struggles I went through that brought me to this area. And I'll share some of the ideas with you that will make you be happy. I have a book called Strive to Be Happy, Powerful Tools on How to. There are a lot of tools in that book also. So those are some of the tools we'll be using on the show, because you need happiness. Even if you are going to fight, if you are going to an argument, even if it's a debate, you need the undercurrent of joy. You need the undercurrent of happiness to go into the ring. And every day when you go to work, it's really you are going to the ring to fight, quote unquote. So we'll share some of those tools on the show so that you can begin to reclaim your life and live a life of joy and excitement. If you are new to the podcast and have not been to my website, www.estheryiyi.com, you might want to drop by and check out the articles I have there. You may also find my books on my website and on Amazon.com. If you have any questions or comments about the show, you can contact me at info@imitatenature.com. That is info@imitatenature.com. I'd like to thank you again for dropping by and enjoy my shows.
This has been Reclaim Your Life with host Esther Lamniam. Listen each and every week at this time for powerful tools and positive strategies of nature that will help you reclaim your life.